EV Magazine, the great ladies over at EV Magazine who put this together. 14-year-old girl from Scotland charged after carrying weapons. Now, that's an interesting headline because if you look at the video, you perhaps might come away with another idea about who it is who should be charged, who is the aggressor, and who is the one doing something. Do we have, Serge, do we have the actual video? Can we just play this? If I hit that, will it just play? Okay. All right, I'm literally just driving now because this is... Yeah. All right, I'll take it back. So you got, this is in Scotland, 2 girls. I think we know one is 14. I think one's is the older one 14?
Older one.
Yeah, the older one's 14. The other's 12.
She's the one holding her back.
Hey, I'm fucking wealthy! You're fucking bad and
Why are you fucking with us?
You're fucking kid bashers!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get
Show
this
the knife.
fuck away from her!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch her!
That's it. That's it. Show the knife.
She has an axe and a knife.
Show the knife.
That's
it.
the I'm not getting raped face.
Her inventory is loaded.
Where's all that fucking catching me? She's fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate! Where's all that fucking catching me?
Yeah. Show the knife. Maracha.
Don't touch her, doing to me! Don't touch her! You don't dare!
Yes.
Who is she yelling at?
So she's yelling at, and is this it? No. There's another angle of it where it's basically 2 migrants that are coming at her, and she's trying to. Again, we're told that she is trying to get away from them and pushes back on this. It brings up a lot of stories about the grooming gangs that have gone up before. Okay, I'm not seeing those pictures. Serge, see if you can find the other angle of it. But going back to the article, she has now been charged. So the police get called. She has now been charged for brandishing weapons, rather a bladed weapon, by the way. Mm-hmm. This happened in Dundee, and Tate, you know a little bit about that. So she's been charged for brandishing weapons to try to defend herself against people who were harassed. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
okay.
There's the other guys here. I don't know how much zoom I can get, but
So they've already assaulted her, right? We
don't know. We don't know.
So
but I think she's trying to prevent them, whatever they were doing. She's clearly saying, "Get away from me."
Right. I mean.
Well, Scotland's a weird experiment because England's obviously had this Boris wave of migrants, but they have 50 million people. Scotland has 6, so it's like you flood. No, it's 5.5 million. So it's like it doesn't take that many migrants to completely change the look of a city.
Yep.
In which case Dundee, which is already a pretty rough place, you introduce just a couple hundred migrants, it's really going to destroy the social trust of the city, and that's what you're saying here.
So you've been there though.
Yeah, I've been to Dundee.
How long ago?
Last time I was there, it would have been last spring, so the spring of the previous year.
Oh, that's not long ago at all.
Yeah.
So very recently. And you were saying you saw some migrants, but not as much as in other places?
Yeah, I mean, compared to like Glasgow and Edinburgh, you don't see as much. Like Dundee's still a very Scottish place, but it's a more working class town. They have
obviously
drug issues, unfortunately. And like I said, the migrants coming to Scotland, that's even after the Boris wave. It doesn't take very many to destabilize places like Dundee. These are not very large cities at all.
The first time I ever went to Scotland was, I think, in 2004, 2005. And then the last time that I was there was in 2019. And it's noticeably different.
If you go to like Govan in Glasgow, like 20 years ago, it was 100% Scottish.
Yep.
It was like an Irish Catholic neighborhood. And you go there now, and it literally feels like the Middle East. And it's like, you see these things at London. It's like, even in London, it still feels, to a degree, reminiscent of England. Like Govan, you have like people killing animals.
A lot of London feels like that, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, but it's like, it's unbelievable in Glasgow.
Yeah, no, I haven't been to Scotland. I've been to Dublin though, and on the Ireland side, and it's the same thing in Dublin.
Yeah,
exact same thing.
So
but the people that are there have absolutely been abused by their government because they didn't ask for this. There was no vote. They vote against it all the time, and the government does nothing at all about the violence that the migrants are bringing in, and you've got. Both the UK or both England and Scotland are subject to the same thing. I think it's the same kind of thing is going on in Ireland. But I'm not sure how bad.
Ireland, yeah.
But I mean, these people have to deal with this. They have to deal with basically changing the face of the country.
Oh,
and if they say, "Oh, we don't like this," or if they post about it on Facebook, they go to jail.
Yeah, well, you're seeing like in Northern Ireland, the Protestants and Catholics coming together. I mean, do you know how existential a threat has to be to bury that hatchet?
Right.
In this case, there's a hatchet involved as well. But I mean, yeah, it's totally insane. They're changing the entire composition of a country before our very eyes, and they're doing it very rapidly.
Completely engineered, right? And they're going to do that here. They were trying to do that here as well.
Yeah, yeah. And
so I mean, we gotta pull up some of the memes that people are making to stand in solidarity. We don't know her name. There's no GoFundMe or anything in terms of this. But people are just pointing it out that it's, I'm surprised no one's done like the Braveheart meme yet.
The internet is so
crazy.
crazy.
They've done that.
Have you seen the Braveheart?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it. Okay, I've
seen her with the, even though like they keep the pants on, but the kilt the same kilt from the show.
Yeah, here's one. This is great from SKS Cartoon. Make sure you go follow him. Why aren't there any men helping us? Britain has no men. We're on our own.
That's really poignant. Like, why are there no men that will stand up and say this is unacceptable?
There is, but they're all in jail, like at Southport. I mean, as soon as anybody tried to do something about it, they throw you in jail and don't explain it.
You know what's crazy isn't it? I think it's today or yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
And I saw that was going around a lot. And I remember when that happened live, I was watching it live. I remember, obviously, I've come to know Kyle, I've covered the case, et cetera. And this was the exact same argument that I kept making. They were like, well, why is a 17-year-old out there doing this? Like, why is he the only one out there? Where are the adults?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, where are the adults? Where are the people who put him in a situation where he's thinking somebody's got to stand up?
17, right? 16, 17?
He was 17.
Wow.
He was 17.
And
so not much older than this girl.
Yeah.
Became a man overnight just like that. I mean, he took
yeah.
a matter. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to that kid now? What's he doing?
It's like we all should have been there. He does work in the 2A community.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean,
Also in Texas, by the way.
The UK is kind of an interesting case too. Like they actually have more of a propensity to push back on these sorts of things. I think presumably because it's denser areas, it's easier to organize quickly versus the United States. But the UK cracks down much harder. I mean, you tweet the wrong thing and you're gone.
They did the Studio Ghibli meme.
Yeah. But I mean, the people,
there's the Braveheart. Yeah,
the people in Scotland, the people in England, like they have allowed this to happen. Unfortunately, you can, and they've allowed their government to imprison people. Look, there are enough people that can stand up and go stand outside of the magistrate's office and say, "Let those guys out of jail." Right, like if someone goes, because
this is the one. There it is. I don't know. That's it's not necessarily Braveheart. It's sort of a
Crusader.
That's the Crusader
chic. But even still, I mean, it's
sentiments there.
It's Joan of Arc is the one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
It just seems like a Joan of Arc.
Just think how close we were to being like that as a society if Kamala would have won, dude. I mean, seriously, think of the chaos. How crazy things would have been.
Yeah, I mean, well, the UK is interesting because it does feel like a testing ground for what they want to implement.
Oh, yeah,
in the
it
US
is.
To a large degree.
It'll be worse here because they're not going to be able to get rid
Be
of
careful,
guns.
just like scrolling through Twitter on this you never know what's going to pop up.
Seriously, the fact that the United States has so many guns, you're not getting rid of them. So
Yeah.
things like this, it wouldn't just be some girl fighting with knives, and it also means that the aggressive people that are looking to violate other people's rights, they're going to have guns as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to, like, the idea of a civil war or something that turns into serious problems, like, it would be way worse in the United States than in the UK.
Yeah. Well, and also the sources of migration. That this is what separates Europe from the U.S. is most of our migration over the last few decades has been from Latin America, which culturally, obviously, it's still different, but it's more similar to the U.S. versus Europe. It's coming from the Middle East and North Africa.
Right.
Vastly different civilization. Well, now the U.S. is starting to get migrants from the Middle East, North Africa, and also South Asia, who are dramatically different from us. And so the UK is a bit of a trailer.
Dude, they're setting up whole communities in Texas like Plano.
Oh,
it's all
yeah.
Sharia Muslims. I mean, it's crazy. Like massive communities being funded by Dearborn, all of them connected to Dearborn, different cities in America, all interconnected. I mean, it was about to kick off here, I think. And then I think Trump, man, came in, and what he's doing right now with the troops and everything he's doing is exactly what I voted in for.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
You know?
Texas, you get the big monkey statue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's great. It's like, oh, this won't stand in Texas, but it's like it's happening everywhere.
Right.
So it's like you could say, oh, well, let Zoran, sink New York City. It's like there's monkey statues in Texas. Like this is a nationwide problem.
Well,
But what Trump's doing right now with the cleanup is the cure has to be greater than the disease. It just does, and that's what he's doing. The cure right now is that, and people can say what they want, but he's doing exactly what we voted him in for.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, the UK is in serious trouble. I mean, like I said earlier, they're able to organize a bit quicker just because of how their society and communities are structured. But I mean, the fact you can't even tweet like very, very innocent stuff without going to jail. I mean, I agree with you. Like the men do need to be stepping up, but like I said earlier, a lot of the men that have stepped up are in jail because, like you saw with Southport. Now you're seeing it where they're
because you can't even whisper something, you go to jail.
You can't even hang a St. George's cross up on a lamppost.
That's how they get you.
Investigated by the police.
They're always like all the guys that are doing that. They're always wearing a mask to conceal their identity and stuff.
With all the problems we have in the U.S., it's like that is not something you have to.
So here's the thing, though: if you do defend the girl, here's what happens: you become the next Daniel Penny, or I think there was just a story of some guy in Germany who defended some chick that was on a bus or something.
It was American.
He turned up into a piece of sliced cake.
It was an American.
His whole face was all cut up.
You become the next Daniel Penny, but you don't have the same outcome as Daniel Penny because the jury put you in jail for the rest of your life.
Right.
That's the best case. Worst case is you just get stabbed or killed, and nobody praises you, more or less, or you're demonized if anything goes wrong.
There's a lot that goes on, and specifically in Scotland, I know it well, that happens, incidents like this happening in Glasgow and Edinburgh and Dundee and Alloa, and it's kind of off the books a little bit. Like this stuff kind of gets resolved out away from the peering eyes of cameras and that sort of thing. This just happens to be an incident where it's been captured.
It's time.
There is some pushback off camera.
It's time for CIA to start running guns to England, to the underground in England. CIA's done it. CIA's done it all over the world. They can do it in the UK. Start,
Let's go.
If there's anybody in Langley listening,
if you're watching,
regime change I can get behind.
Well, I mean, look,
real regime
I'm telling you, man, you go and you take back the UK, right? We should go and mass in France, go over the channel, take back the UK, and then we're heading to Jerusalem.
Well, yeah, like, I'm of English stock. The UK is kind of like my Israel in a lot of ways. It's kind of the Holy Land. You go there, you get.
You guys have a wall over there?
Full English breakfast. It really feels
Which one's the best wall?
Feel connected in some way.
Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, Hadrian's Wall. I do a little prayer.
Let's go to the wall.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing, and I really.
Which is supposed to keep out it was supposed to be the border with Scotland.
Right, it's not doing its job.
No, it's not doing its job.
Put a few extra feet on it, but.
This reminds me a little bit of the funniest thing that Tim's ever said. It was the after show, and then he had like a caller from Ireland saying that he wants to immigrate to the United States, and he was like, "No, stay in Ireland." And like, if there were enough immigrants that went to Ireland, like they'd take over and they'd take back Northern Ireland. Unlike you native Irish people who would never have the balls to do that. It was the most audacious thing. It was like, "Yo, make Ireland great again." Yeah, it was a very damn moment. I was like,
Dang.
"Yeah, that's my boss." I miss that guy, huh?
Yeah.
No, there's a lot going on.
fine.
We covered a protest that was going on in Kerry in Ireland not too long ago, and they had tens of thousands of people were out. It was on remigration. It was about Take Back Ireland. Conor McGregor, of course, has been out, very much outspoken on this, kind of flirting with the idea of even running for president, talking about this kind of thing that we need to take back Ireland for the Irish. And it's really amazing, right? When you look at places like Ireland, like Scotland, that have fought for their independence for so long and have fought tooth and nail, right? So Ireland, an example, has fought the British for, hundreds of years in if you look at the totality of it, in order to get back their island, back. And then they'll sit there and say, "Oh, but we also have to let in, so many people. Oh, well, the Irish went everywhere, so sure Jesus, we should be allowing them to come here." And you're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
Isn't that a part of Catholicism? And like there are a lot of different Catholic charities, and as I understand in our country, who does want to advance a lot more.
Well, it's not
immigration,
part of Catholicism,
legal or
but it's yes,
based
there are
faith. in
there
Catholicism.
there are readings of it, but I would argue that those are false interpretations. But yes, certainly
A lot of false
charities-
interpretations,
but
very common
certainly-
false interpretations.
Certainly, Catholic charities. Yeah, there's Catholic charities. There's Lutherans. There's other other religions have this as well. So it's it's one that's a huge problem where they come in. I don't know how big they are specifically in Ireland. It wouldn't surprise me though if it was also going on. It's definitely
Pope Leo's for immigration, right? I mean, that's what he.
Yeah, Pope Leo has said that he's for he's for for open borders, and he's spoken out, and it's like for all of like the good that I think that he said about other things that one of the things that and CNN was because we covered the conclave over there in Rome, and they were coming at me for saying, look, I don't think this is the conservative candidate that conservatives wanted, and that's and I get all my tradcath bros be like, what do you mean? He's got the vestments and he's like open to the Latin mass and this, and he's good on same-sex marriage and he's good on abortion.
I think he was perfectly picked.
And I say, yeah, but it's
to go
borders
against
issue,
Trump, to oppose Trump.
The borders issue. He hasn't really been coming out against Trump. To be fair, he hasn't really been.
But I mean,
making
open
the statements
he
the way
wants open
that
borders, immigration. What do you think that says to the immigrants?
He's been undercutting for sure, but he hasn't been in the way Francis was. I mean, he hasn't been this direct. But at the same time, open borders and mass migration is the seminal issue of our time. There's no question, specifically in the West. And if you're going to sit there and act like it's not an issue,
and it's part of the globalist agenda, right?
100%.
So,
it is destabilization of our countries.
Yeah. Right. And so he is kind of like an opposing factor to Trump, which is kind of like they pick this guy from Chicago, they bring him in, he wants open borders. I'm surprised he hasn't been as voiced as, I mean, I haven't really heard much from him. Like, I thought he was going to be much more of a thorn in Trump's side than he is.
Well, there was a reading on that, but one of the other big issues, too, is that the Vatican's kind of broke right now. And church collections have been down, revenues.
The Vatican's broke?
Yeah, absolutely.
Holy wow! I never thought I'd ever hear that.
Yeah, go check out some of the Vatican bank scandals that have gone on lately. The huge London real estate scandals they've been involved in. Just the money's down. Money's been down worldwide for the Catholics, and they can point to numbers that have been church growth in Africa and South America, but that hasn't led to the type of money that you'd need to come in. And in places like where I'm from, the Philadelphia area, I mean, you see churches closing every day.
Yeah, less and less people are going, and more people are in Zoom. And more people are attending church on Zoom.
And so one of the other reasons that they wanted to choose an American Pope is because given the combativeness that Pope Francis had and a lot of the confusion, I think that a lot of his policies were going towards some of those really big dollar. America's the world's largest economy.
So are you Catholic?
So I am, yeah.
Oh, so I was raised. I was an altar boy.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so was I. And so they want to get more access to that American big dollar donor market, and they think you get an American, that's someone who can walk right at Villanova University, which is in the Philly area. So I almost went to Villanova, where he went as undergrad. So I mean, it's a huge Catholic.
Do you
area.
attend church? Do you go to church
Every week? Yeah.
Really? See, I wish better man than I. I mean, I try to read the Bible as much as I can, but yeah, I mean. I've kind of fallen away from the Catholic Church at least. But
check out Latin Mass. Check out Latin Mass. It's great. It's so cool. It's like the old school. It's hardcore, right? No English. Well, the homily, like the sermon, would be in English, but it's way more traditional and I think a lot more solemn than the modern Vatican II.
Okay, so you are for this Pope or against this Pope?
I see a lot of good in terms of some of those traditional items, but I just think he's got to get his head right on immigration. I think it's the biggest issue.
So I mean, I think it's worth mentioning too that I know a Jewish person talking a lot about Catholicism right now, but the American brand of Catholicism is a little bit different than the global brand of Catholicism. The American Catholicism is a lot more right-wing than global Catholicism. It's worth mentioning too.
It depends. There's different strains even in America, though.
Sure. No, but worldwide, generally, as I understand, our American version of Catholicism is a little bit more right-leaning. I think it's also worth mentioning 40% of Catholics are from Latin America. So I feel like it would make sense for the Pope to be very open towards immigration
that's my point.
And towards people in Latin America.
And he spent a ton of his his career as a priest down in Peru.
It makes sense because that's where global Catholicism. I'm reading right now. There's 500 some odd million Catholics in Latin
huge
America.
Growth in South America, Latin America, and in Africa, but at the same time, and Asia as well. But at the same time, they just don't have the economic pull that Americans do.
Yeah, well, I'm saying it stands to reason why there would be some religious affinity for Latin Americans who are Catholic, and that Catholic organizations in our country would want to try to reach out to these people and help them because they believe in Jesus and they believe the same things they do, and on a religious affiliation basis.
So what's great though is that and you do have these different strains of political thought arising from Catholicism, and that for like the trad Caths, we would kind of point more towards Cardinal Sarah. Who is African, and a cardinal of the church, but he would say, people should go back to their home countries because this dilution is causing confusion, it's causing destabilization, it's causing all the issues.
But if you were a globalist, wouldn't he be the perfect pick, Pope Leo? Wouldn't he be the perfect plant to go against Trump? I mean, give the immigrants the righteous indignation to fight against Trump, to feel righteous about what they're doing. Pick a guy that's from Chicago. Pick a pope that's open borders. Do you get what I'm saying here?
Oh, yeah.
That, to me, that's just like the perfect plant.
Absolutely.
And I, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, but that's the way I see it. I mean, really, that's really.
You're not the only one saying it.
It's good for the Catholic brand per se.
Right.
To be
Yeah.
an ambassador.
Well, it's like kind of what you're saying. Like you get this thing online where you'll see specifically like really trad Cath types like chest beat, and they'll post a map showing like how widespread Catholicism has become in the United States, but then it overlays with like migration from Latin America over the last 30 years. So it's like, because if you look at broadly, if you look at the demographics of the United States, the religious demographics, there's been a huge outpouring of Catholics into like non-denominational churches.
In my opinion, it doesn't matter if there's an influx or an uptick in how many Catholics they are. If too many of them are liberation theology Catholics,
sure,
which is
and that's what you get from South America.
Yeah, which is exactly that's just leftism.
Like
is that true? I'm not familiar with
liberation theology. It's leftist.
That's the brand of Latin American
leftist infiltration of the Catholic Church using the Word of God to forward leftist agendas.
Right, it's because when Marxism goes to different areas, what it does is it adopts to whatever the climate of that area is, right? The political climate, the cultural climate. And so because Latin America and South America were already Catholic, they said, okay, well, we're going to combine through like almost like this syncretism, this idea of, okay, we're going to put it's what's Catholic, and we're supporting the rights of the people to migrate, but it's also Marxist, right? Yeah. And which is weird because
seems contradictory.
It seems contradictory because typically when the Marxists do take power, the very first thing they do in places like, Catholic France or Catholic Spain are start killing the priests and and raping the nuns on the altar and smashing churches. And you see that they do this in Mexico. They do it again and again and again. But to your point, it's this other strain of Marxism that's infiltrating through the church.
When people say that like Marxism will take over whatever you love and wear it like a skin suit, that's not just a figure of speech.
Yeah.
That is how Marxism operates.
Well, they did it to they've done it to but they've also done it to mainline churches in the U.S. I mean, you look at historically, who were the founding fathers? They're like Episcopalians, they're Presbyterians, and you look at those denominations now, and it's like that's where you get the pride flags, the lesbian preachers, and everything. Like it's a little nightmare.
We had I was at the national prayer, service that right after Trump got inaugurated with J.D. Vance, and we had the female bishop in the national cathedral, and I was like, well, okay, first time seeing a lady priest. Let's see how this goes. And then and what does she do?
Wasn't she talking trash to Trump right there?
Yeah, she gives a homily or I guess a sermon. She gives a sermon saying that that no one is illegal and people shouldn't be deported. And you could see the president kind of sitting there like, what's going on? and we're just a couple rows back, and it got really
very uncomfortable
for everybody. What is he going to do something? So. To credit to him, being a gentleman, he didn't say anything or do anything at the time. But I think but even before he made it back to the White House, he's up on Truth Social.
Yeah, he went right at it. But that's what the Marxists are doing, right? They're taking over the schools, indoctrination camps, the churches. It's all captured operations. Yep.
Yeah,
all captured operations. Every institution and organization now has been captured, and we're trying to untangle that web right now with Trump and break free of this.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.